Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 25th anniversary of the Petersheim Academic Expo at Seton Hall University in the lovely village of South Orange, New Jersey. Our expo started on Monday, and I believe that we have probably compiled 30 or more events involving hundreds of graduate students, undergraduate students, and faculty for the first time this year doing presentations. We hope you have enjoyed our series thus far. And on today, we are very pleased to present one of the first events that was ever offered 25 years ago, in which we gathered up representatives of first year students simply to ask them how had their first years been in their opinion, but along the lines of not only adjustment, their work with engagement with faculty in and outside of the classrooms, their engagement with their classmates, once again, in and outside of the classrooms, their involvement in the community, their going on service learning trips abroad. Usually we get a wide expanse of activities. You know, Seton Hall has students who represent all 50 states in the United States and over 70 different countries. So we are interested in delivering to the first year student a very comprehensive, very high touch type of experience for that first year. We are so grateful for our cooperating partners who are able to keep us connected with this first year population. We have the the Center for Academic Success, formerly known for most of the last 25 years as Freshman Studies. We have the Educational Opportunity Program. We have our athletics department. We have the University Honors Program. We have the Martin Luther King Leadership Program. And the list goes on and on. So we are so grateful to our partners for their cooperation in supplying students for today. What we're going to do now is have each of the students who are present this morning to identify themselves for you. So I'm going to start with Amber Aragon, please. And then each student, you can simply go in any order you'd like to after that, please. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Amber Aragon. I am a freshman student, as you all know. I am from Dover, New Jersey, and my major is political science. I'm involved with the MLKSA program as president this year, and I will be an SGA senator as well, an at-large senator.
Thank you, Amber.
I can go next, yes. Hello, I'm Lauren Marie Diawine. I'm a freshman in the School of Diplomacy. I am a part of the honors program, as well as the Filipino League at Seton Hall, the Pacino Leadership Institute, and I am a staff writer for the Diplomatic Envoy. Thank you.
Thank you, Danielle.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Christina Brown. I am from Westchester, New York. My major is elementary education integrated with special education, also majoring in English. I'm a part of the Martin Luther King Scholarship Association, and I'm also a member of the Pacino Leadership Institute.
I can go. Good morning. My name is Josie McCartney. I'm from Madison, Wisconsin. I'm a biochemistry major, and I'm also minoring in Spanish and medical humanities. And on campus, I'm involved on the swim team and the Servant Leader Scholarship Program, as well as doing voluntary research with a professor.
Good morning. My name is Sasha Amelang. I'm a double major in diplomacy and economics, and I'm also on the women's golf team here. I'm currently an officer in the Slavic Club, and I'm minoring in Russian. And I'm from Houston, Texas. Sorry.
Hello, I'm Skylar Treadwell. I'm from Martinsburg, West Virginia. My major is criminal justice, and I'm a member of the women's basketball team.
Pretty good year the team had, Skylar, by the way.
Yes, it was.
Wife and I are fans of both of the men's and the women's teams. I think next year is going to be a real breakout year for you guys. All right, thank you so much. scholars of the first year experience. Let's take a look at where we're going. First of all, if everyone can see this question, the level of academic challenge, which involves any intellectual and creative work that we know is central to the student learning and collegiate quality. Colleges and universities promote high levels of student achievement by setting high expectations for student performance. So we'd like all of you in each of any way you'd like to approach this subject of the expectations that were set for you academically this year. Any reflections on that and your thoughts?
I'd like to speak on this if that's all right.
Go ahead, Mel.
When I look at this question, level of academic challenge, participation in the honors program comes to mind for me. In high school, I participated in AP US History and multiple AP English courses. So when I saw that the university offered an honors program in a topic that I haven't previously discovered or studied in high school, philosophy, I was eager to challenge myself. And being a part of the honors program for 2 semesters, which means 2 colloquia covering 2 different time periods throughout world history, I found myself challenged in my critical reading and critical writing skills, and has encouraged me to the point that I've decided to announce a double major in philosophy as well. So having the honors program has allowed me to develop my own interests as well as my skills in reading and writing and interacting with other students in discussion in the classroom.
Thank you so much. Is there another person?
I'd also like to comment on this subject, if that's okay.
Sure.
Personally, I've had an experience with very different styles of teaching throughout my diplomacy career so far. One thing that's definitely been challenging, but has really kind of, helped all of us work on our writing and reading skills, or critical writing and reading skills, is I have a Socratic style diplomacy class this semester, in which our professor kind of, it's been a little bit difficult with the virtual setting, but nonetheless, it's still been an extremely helpful experience in helping us to kind of synthesize information and present it while we're also learning, and then getting feedback from the professor that way. And then I also, in my Russian classes, our teachers integrate a lot of speaking, which is kind of uncommon, I found, for American foreign language education. And I actually really think that that's how you learn the language the best, is by practicing speaking and interacting with others, in addition to, of course, written assessments and things like that. So those have both been really challenging, but have helped me succeed.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Is there one more?
To also chime in, I believe that my transition from high school to college was very well. There was a very big difference in just the work, of course, in high school and college. And I think that it has really pushed me to do my best, to give forth great work. There was also something that I noticed was a major focus on critical thinking, which was something that I've never done in high school. Critical thinking skills and just using that in your essays, using that in the work that you do, was something that was very difficult for me at first, because I didn't really know how to apply that into what I was doing. But I think it was really great because critical thinking skills is very important throughout life, and continuing to go through college.
Thank you. Christina, can you give an example, if you don't mind, just to, like, as if you were painting a picture, so that when someone looks at the picture, they would know exactly, well, what was the context, what was the course, and what was the, when you mentioned, not to call it a difficulty, but in order for you to get over that circumstance, what was it you had to change within your own, say, methodology?
Yeah, so the course was Journey of Transformation, which I took my first term. That, in the beginning, it was very challenging for me. The professor was very big on not focusing on what is obvious.
Yes.
You have to think beyond what you see on paper. So for the readings, we had to do a lot of research on the author, or what was the historical context, what was going on at the time. And in the essays, he didn't want us to just write things that were known, things like a summary. He wanted us to think beyond that and to kind of use our own perspective and how it applies to our life.
Excellent. Thank you so much for the specifics. Anyone else? If not, we'll move on. Our next area of inquiry will deal with active and collaboration in learning. Students learn more when they are intentionally involved in their education and are asked to think about, that sounds like what we just talked about, and to apply what they're learning in different situations and settings. Collaborating with others in solving problems or mastering difficult material prepares the student to deal with the messy, unscripted problems they will encounter daily, both during and after college. Anybody have examples of that you want to share with us?
I'd like to comment on this one. Something that has been interesting for me has been, Something that has been really interesting for me has been, we've done in my diplomacy courses, these NS National Security Council simulations. So those involve basically, you have to read information, prepare memos as a student, and then the professor kind of takes a back seat, and each student gets to be a representative of the National Security Council. So like someone would be vice president, someone would be president, you know, so on and so forth. And this has really been interesting because it allows us to really apply our learning and not just simply memorize historical events or memorize conventions or things like that. So that's something for me that has been really transformational. And also it gives us an opportunity to work with our classmates and to get better. And I know that, you know, we had a little group chat on Teams that all of us were asking each other, oh, how did you do with this? How did you do with that? And it was a very supportive environment that allowed us, to really just apply our learning. And additionally, in other classes, you know, I've experienced some similar things with like peer reviewing of work. For English, for example, we generally, before we turn in an essay, we have to send it to our classmates, and our classmates get feedback on that. So that's been really helpful too, to get, you know, perspectives, especially since I'm from far away, from students that are from, you know, different places too. So that's been really fun and interesting.
Thank you so much. Is there anyone else who would like to comment on it?
I would also like to comment on it. Kind of what she was saying, in my criminology class, my professor would give us like what if statements and give us like a real life statement of like a certain thing that we had to apply, like the different ideas and theories that he gives us during class. So it's like real life, like experimental, like of what we would actually do if we had this position as like a job or something.
Very good. Anyone else?
Yes, I would like to speak on this one as well, if I could. I would like to actually talk about my Spanish class. Although I am Hispanic, I'm not very well versed in the Spanish language, so I took it here in my first year, and using virtual learning was a bit hard, especially for a different language. But my Spanish teacher and my class, she would speak to us in Spanish, and that would really help. Even though we didn't know the words yet, she would just keep going, and they would start to make sense. And also, like, working with the other students on like dialogues, we would have to write our own dialogues and sort of perform them in front of the class using words that we might have known or not known. And it definitely really helped working together, because if you didn't know a word, then someone else might have.
Thank you so much. Just, I'm going to ask a curiosity question for those of you who are involved in the various leadership programs on campus. Were any elements of active and collaborative learning involved during your first year in those programs, such as the Pacino Leadership Institute, MLK? Any examples there of collaboration?
I can actually chime in about my experience in the Pacino Leadership Institute. Actually, with Christina, we were part of an interdisciplinary team, which was composed of 10 different students from different colleges throughout the university. And we were presented with 3 different options of a project that we could do a presentation on near the end of the semester. Our group actually completed its project last week, and we were tasked with the idea of how to tackle admission and outreach for the program if it became a shorter 3-year program. And collaborative learning was definitely a major part of this experience this past semester, because we would have to log in at certain meetings and even have to do extra rehearsals to prepare for the presentation at the end of the semester. And one of the biggest things that I learned was how to incorporate other people's ideas and how to listen to other people while trying to complete a project and aim for a bigger picture solution and accomplished goal of a presentation.
Very good. Is there anyone else?
I can also speak to that. I'm in the Servant Leadership Scholar program on campus, and so that was a kind of program that we meet a few times throughout the semester in like having a guest speaker come and speak to us, and then we kind of discuss with the speaker or discuss as a group after. And so it was all on a virtual platform this year due to kind of the current situation, but we were able to kind of meet in a format like this and still interact with each other, which was a really good, enriching opportunity because it was freshmen through seniors in the program, and everyone had kind of different levels of perspective and different experiences to share. And also, I guess, speaking to other ways of active and collaborative learning, I'm involved in lab research. And so that was a main way that I got involved this semester with other people and kind of sharing our stuff, because I was in a group of freshmen who were new to the lab, so we all weren't really sure what we were doing together and figured it out. And we actually ended up presenting at Petersheim for the chemistry department a few days ago. And so we had to collaborate to kind of compile our research and share what we've done this semester.
Thank you. That was very extensive. Anyone else? Okay, if not, we'll be moving on. Enriching educational experiences are complementary learning opportunities inside and outside of the classroom that augment the normal academic program. Experiencing diversity teaches students, for example, valuable things about themselves and other cultures. Used appropriately, technology facilitates learning and promotes collaboration between peers, instructors, internships, community service, and senior capstone projects can provide students with opportunities to synthesize, integrate, and apply their knowledge. Such experiences make learning more meaningful and ultimately more useful because of what students know becomes a part of who they are. Anybody wish to share there?
Just talk about the enriching educational experiences. I'm sorry. I want to talk about the Writing Center, which has definitely helped me. For English, both courses that I've taken, it was required that we had to go to one session, which if that wasn't a requirement, I don't think I would have done it. And now that I know about it, I would definitely utilize it again because it has definitely improved my writing. Just getting that, having someone else look at your work and you receiving feedback on what you can change, what you did well, and other things that you can incorporate has really helped me. And I believe that has definitely helped me with my essays, especially for English. So I really am truly happy about that opportunity to use the Writing Center.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I would like to comment too, kind of with like the Writing Center, I've used tutors, even if I'm like have a good grade in the class. If I'm really like struggling with a certain topic or something, I will ask for a tutor or use drop-in hours. And I feel like that really helps, and it helps me like make better grades on all my quizzes and tests that I've used it for.
Thank you. Is there one more perhaps?
I would like to comment on the diversity of students that has helped my experience. So one thing that I've definitely experienced with my diplomacy courses, since we do have such a broad, such a wide diversity of students from all kinds of different countries around the world, when we do speak about different current events, I think that it has been really interesting to hear about other people's personal experiences with those events. Like, for example, there was a Pakistani girl in my class who was talking about, her relationship with the events that we were talking about. Armenian students that were talking about how they felt about President Biden commenting on the genocide, things like that, that have really just made it kind of, it's taken it to the next level because of this community within diplomacy that Seton Hall has created. In addition to having professors that are excellent in their field and also have a very wide diversity of experience that they're willing and ready to share with us. It's been just really interesting to kind of, be at the crossroads of all of that.
That sounds like a very special situation. Thank you for sharing. Big shout out there to the School of Diplomacy for its innovative programming. Anyone else? All right. And now, your interactions with faculty members. Students can learn firsthand how experts think about and solve practical problems by interacting with faculty inside and outside of the classroom. As a result, their teachers become role models, mentors, and guides for continuous lifelong learning. Your thoughts on and reactions to that question, please.
I can chime in on this one. When I read over this question, two important mentors that come to mind are my university life professor and my cohort associate director in the Leadership Institute. So essentially, when you go into the Pacino Leadership Institute, you're assigned to a cohort based on your college and the university, and there's an overseeing AD who's there to who runs cohort-specific activities and also does checkups with you throughout your year and throughout the semesters. I've found that my AD has been she's given me such great insight and guidance, especially as a student who's separated from campus and feels out of touch. Being able to connect with a dean like that has really been helpful for me and encouraging for me to continue on in the School of Diplomacy. And then second of all, my university life professor, she was honest, she was real about the experiences we were going to have in college, and she gave us honest advice on how to deal with our new challenges, whether it be inside the classroom with writing papers and managing our time, or outside the classroom with dealing with our social lives and extracurricular responsibilities. Even after I finished university life in my first semester, I was able to reach out to her with a paper that I was a bit concerned about and worried that I wasn't able to put together. But she, even though I was out of her classroom already, she was there to help me and give me guidance on how to get started and to center myself and focus on this goal I have.
Thank you so much. Is there another observation?
I can speak to this. I think particularly my chemistry professor has really helped in kind of creating a more enriching and kind of just a really great environment to learn. The class has run in person if you choose to go in person, so I've had that opportunity all year, but he's also done a lot to try to connect our class because we have a lot of people who are learning remotely this year due to circumstances or our commuters, or kind of everyone has different situations. So we meet in groups of 4 every week with him. That's a personal meeting, and we go over questions we have on the material. It's kind of like a little office hours session, but it also can serve, if we don't have any questions, just to chat about science in the news or other things. So it's a way to get to know him as well. And through that opportunity is how I've gotten into research. And so working with him in that capacity, kind of outside the classroom, has been very interesting to see how he approaches problems, because the things we've encountered with our work has not always been a clear-cut answer. And so seeing kind of how to problem solve and troubleshoot those has also been a very interesting and rewarding opportunity.
Thank you. Is there anyone else?
I would also like to comment on this.
Yes, please.
Okay. From a less kind of, very academic standpoint, I found that in the Russian department, my family's Russian, but, nonetheless, the Russian professors have been very supportive, because it is such a small community. Like, my Russian class only has 9 people in it. So our professors are always very conversational and willing to talk to you about, how is your experience going, especially for those of us who are able to go in person. When we do go in person, we always stay after class to chat, and it's just kind of been nice to have that extra kind of, cushion, that extra little family figure around. Being from out of state, and I haven't been able to go back home because of the quarantine rules and things like that. So it's been really nice from that standpoint. And then also one of the head of the Russian department, Professor Kuchta, She brings little treats for the Slavic Club members every weekend if we ask for them, or sometimes she'll bring some home cooked stuff for us. It's just really nice that like she'll come and put in her extra time on the weekends to come say hi to us, because it's been really difficult with COVID and being virtual and not being able to see family and everything like that. So it's been really nice with the Russian department for me.
Thank you for highlighting all of that personal touch. It was excellent. Anyone else?
I'd also like to say something.
Yes.
My first semester, I was on campus, and that transition was very difficult for me, as I am someone who doesn't always do well with change. So I was very overwhelmed. But I do find that my teachers, my professors, they made everything so much easier. I've had a great experience. I can truly tell that they want to see me grow. They want to see me be the best person, the best version of myself. And I feel that support, which is very important and has helped me to continue and keep learning, especially with my major. I find that, which is education, I find that my professors are always willing to help me. I find people in the major that want to, help me to succeed and, give me great advice about, how to work with kids and things of that nature. So so far I've had a really great experience with everyone that I've come in contact with.
Thank you very much, Christine. Anyone else?
Yes, I would like to speak on this. From a remote student point of view, I haven't been on campus at all, except for this semester. I went in once, but other than that, my freshman year has been totally remote. And I wanted to speak on one class I took on in my fall semester, my first semester, which was international relations with the late Dr. Kwame Akinor. He would talk about international relations topics, and then he would after class be able to reach out to him and talk about these different topics and your own point of view. If you didn't want to talk about them fully in class, he was okay with that, and then he would entertain them after class, after hours, and he would like kind of debate with you in sort of a way, and also try to incorporate that into your papers they would write for that class. So it really helped on like an educational point of view, and also getting to know like a professor outside of class and their own point of views and see how that could help in my learning. And I also wanted to highlight the Martin Luther King Scholarship Association. We worked as a class, the freshman class, with Professor Moore in EOP, and he was formerly in freshman studies. However, him moving also over to EOP, which I'm a part of, has helped me academically as well. And he's been able to help me like guide my way through like registration into the new sophomore year, thinking of like what I want to kind of do with my major, and realizing like I can text him at any point of the day and he'll help me with any type of thing. And also when I was on campus, the one time I went on there, I took his class in this semester, and it felt like I knew him the entire year already, even though he had never met me in person before. So definitely having that connection in the Martin Luther King Scholarship Association and in class, and having him as a mentor has been a really great experience for my first year.
Thank you, Amber, for those comments. Okay. Anyone else wish to comment on this? Looking at the nature of the campus environment and activities that would have been provided through that programming, students perform better and are more satisfied at colleges that are committed to their success and cultivate positive working and social relations among the different groups on campus. Would anybody care to speak to that?
I'd like to start on this, if that's all right.
Yes.
So when I think about this question, I think back to, the Counseling and Psychological Services, the Diversity and Inclusion Initiative, and as well as the Filipino League at Seton Hall in participation with other cultural organizations in the vigil that was held for African Americans. So to start off, I would like to think that CAPS, I'm really glad that CAPS is an available resource on campus, because as a mainly remote student, and I having a bit of difficulty acclimating to college life, when the times that I did go on campus, I would feel myself overwhelmed and a little bit like lonely, because I would feel so out of touch with the environment around me. But having CAPS to start off to help center myself and remind myself that our current situation was only like a roadblock and that there were other people feeling like this, and I didn't have to feel less alone whenever I was in that mindset. So having them like a phone call or Teams call away was really helpful. And also the Diversity and Inclusion Initiative, they came into my university life class during the fall semester, and the conversation we had about race and sexuality was really enlightening, because coming from previous Catholic institutions where those topics were swept under the rug, I felt more comfortable being myself and simply being a student on campus, because these conversations were being fostered, and I felt that was the first step to truly being a student at Seton Hall.
Thank you so much. Anyone else wish to speak to the nature of a supportive campus environment?
I would also like to speak to this. So as an athlete, I definitely have been able to have that kind of, built-in friend group because of my team. But last semester, we didn't really have practice, and everyone else was living off campus, and I was the only freshman on campus. So I was kind of left to, look for things to do on campus. And I found that the SAB, the Student Activities Board, I believe that's what it stands for, they put on really great events that were like, yes, it was a little bit awkward having to meet people for the first time, and COVID made it even more difficult with those events. But I did find that, there was a real effort for everyone to kind of be involved and for everyone to be meeting each other and to kind of make new friends, because everyone is scared about, not getting COVID, and that's very understandable. But even through virtual events, it was kind of like a weird way that, you were able to connect with people. So I definitely found that the school was making, I felt like, and I definitely experienced that the school was making a real effort for those who did choose to come in person, and for those who were virtual, like they also were able to be included in kind of, that friendship building process. That's not always easy as a first year student, especially from like out of state, but even in state, it's still, a new environment. So.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else who would like to comment on that? If not, normally we would have students who have physically taken trips for the purposes of rendering service to others. We mention this because we do look forward to a period of time in which we could revisit these activities as hands-on learning experiences. I want to thank everyone this morning for your participation, and we've hoped that through your contributions, we are able to put into place additional programming that continues to be sensitive to not only your needs, but it will help you to lay that foundation for your future success. We'd like to thank everyone for your participation. We'd like to thank our audience this morning, and for those who will view this throughout perpetuity, as we like to say, for future generations. And we want to thank our Director of Technical Operations, Burke Loxley, for his stewardship of his duties this morning. So on behalf of the Petersheim Academic Expo, we bid you all a good day. Thank you so very much for being with us in 2021. Goodbye.